Wolverine has been called an animal, a killer, a soldier, a teacher, and even a father. To his enemies, he is a living weapon who only pretends to control his instincts. To some heroes, Logan represents everything an X-Man should never become. But the people who truly know him have discovered a very different man hiding behind the adamantium claws. Before we continue, give the video a like, subscribe to Nerd Society, and tell us in the comments which Marvel character you would like to see in the next episode. Sabretooth believes Logan is an animal pretending to be a hero. Sabretooth does not consider Wolverine his complete opposite. Victor Creed believes they are essentially the same. Both possess violent instincts, enhanced senses, healing factors, and pasts marked by countless deaths. According to Creed, the only difference is that Logan tries to hide his true nature behind an X-Men uniform. Because of this, Sabretooth does not simply want to defeat him physically. He attacks the people Wolverine cares about, forces him to relive traumatic memories, and places him in situations where killing appears to be the only possible solution. His true objective is to destroy the heroic identity Logan has built and force him to admit that he is still the same predator he was in the past. This obsession also explains why Sabretooth turned Wolverine's birthdays into occasions of violence and suffering. To Victor, Logan is only a temporarily domesticated animal. Every time Wolverine loses control, Creed sees it as a victory, and confirmation that the X-Men merely taught a monster how to wear a uniform. Daken sees him as the father who abandoned him. Akihiro, better known as Daken, never knew Logan as the protector seen by Kitty Pryde and Jubilee. He grew up believing that his father had abandoned their family and was responsible for all the suffering he endured. That resentment was encouraged by Romulus, who manipulated his entire life and turned Wolverine into the main target of his hatred. Logan did not know that his son had survived. His wife, Itsu, was murdered while she was still pregnant, but the healing factor inherited from Logan allowed the baby to survive. Romulus removed the child from his mother's body and created a false story that convinced Akihiro his father had simply moved on after the tragedy. When he finally met Logan, Daken wanted to surpass him and prove that he was more intelligent and dangerous than the man whose legacy had defined his life. He even adopted the Wolverine name and joined the Dark Avengers as a twisted version of his own father. To Daken, Logan is the man he once wanted to know, learn to hate, and could never completely separate from his own identity. Cyclops considers him a dangerous rival and an essential ally. Scott Summers and Logan represent almost completely incompatible philosophies. Cyclops believes in strategy, discipline, and control. Wolverine trusts his instincts, challenges orders, and accepts the use of lethal force when he considers it necessary. Logan's attraction to Jean Grey made their relationship even more difficult. Despite their arguments, Scott knows that Wolverine is far from expendable. Logan has participated in some of the X-Men's most dangerous missions, protected his teammates, and confronted threats that few heroes would have the courage to face. Cyclops questions his methods and impulsive behavior, but fully understands his loyalty on the battlefield. The greatest conflict between them happened during X-Men Schism. Scott believed young mutants needed to learn how to fight in order to survive, while Logan decided that children should not be transformed into soldiers. Ironically, the man famous for his brutality took the more protective position. To Cyclops, Wolverine is an unpredictable rival, but also one of the few allies he can trust when every plan begins to fail. Captain America and Spider-Man respect the hero, but reject his methods. Captain America recognizes Wolverine's courage, military experience, and willingness to enter battles that appear almost impossible to win. Both men have histories connected to wars and organizations that attempted to transform them into weapons. However, Steve Rogers believes a hero must preserve certain principles even under extreme circumstances. Logan is willing to kill when he considers it necessary. Spider-Man feels a similar discomfort. In Spider-Man vs. Wolverine, Logan intended to perform a mercy killing for his former friend Charlemagne. Peter tried to stop him, but accidentally struck the woman when she approached him from behind and triggered his spider sense. The encounter showed Peter just how morally dark Wolverine's world could become. Despite this, Spider-Man and Wolverine eventually developed an unlikely friendship, while Logan also earned Captain America's respect during several missions. Steve and Peter know that Wolverine is courageous, loyal, and willing to sacrifice himself for others. To them, Logan is a true hero, even though his methods cross lines neither of them is willing to accept. Deadpool sees him as a rival and an example of what he could become. Deadpool recognizes many of his own defining qualities in Wolverine. Both possess healing factors, traumatic pasts, experience as mercenaries, and connections to programs that transform human beings into weapons. The main difference is that Logan managed to build a reputation as a hero and earn the respect of the X-Men and the Avengers. Their encounters frequently become a combination of insults, competitions, and violent confrontations. Wade attempts to challenge Wolverine, prove that he can keep up with him, and demonstrate that he is equally dangerous. But beneath that rivalry exists an unavoidable comparison. Logan represents the path Deadpool could follow if he learned to control his violence and earn the trust of other heroes. Wolverine considers Wade irresponsible, irritating, and dangerous, but he understands part of his pain. Logan also knows what it is like to lose memories, be manipulated, and fear that killing may be the only thing he does well. To Deadpool, Wolverine is a rival he wants to surpass, but also proof that someone with a violent past can still find a place among heroes. Rogue sees Logan as someone who understands her search for redemption. When Rogue joined the X-Men, Wolverine did not want to accept her. She had been a member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants and destroyed Carol Danvers' life by permanently absorbing her powers and part of her memories. Allowing a former enemy to enter the mansion immediately seemed like an unnecessary risk. His opinion changed during a mission in Japan. In Uncanny X-Men number 173, Rogue risked her own life to protect Mariko Yashida, the woman Logan loved. After witnessing that sacrifice, Wolverine realized that she genuinely wanted to leave her past behind and build a different identity. For Rogue, Logan's trust carried special meaning. He also had a violent past and understood the effort required to avoid being permanently defined by his crimes. Wolverine became more than a teammate who finally accepted her. He became someone who understood her search for redemption and showed her that she truly could stop being a villain and become an X-Man. Kitty Pryde and Jubilee consider him a mentor and father figure. Kitty Pryde met Wolverine when she was still very young and initially saw only the aggressive and distant member of the X-Men. Her opinion changed after she was captured and manipulated by the Ninja Logan. Logan traveled to Japan to save her, taught her how to confront her fear, and helped her regain control of her identity without sacrificing her humanity. Jubilee developed a similar connection with him. She found Wolverine severely injured and being hunted by the Reavers, but decided to help him despite not fully understanding the danger. Her courage earned Logan's respect and began one of the most important partnerships in both of their lives. He trained her, protected her, and remained by her side, even during the period when she became a vampire. Both young women discovered a version of Wolverine that his enemies would find almost impossible to imagine. Around them, Logan demonstrated patience, affection, and a powerful need to protect younger people from suffering the way he had. To Kitty and Jubilee, Wolverine is a strict teacher, a caring protector, and a father figure who prepared them to survive in a dangerous world. Laura Kinney sees Logan as a father, an inspiration, and a warning. Laura Kinney was created to be a weapon. The people responsible for her creation used Wolverine's genetic material, subjected her to brutal training, and conditioned her mind to perform assassinations. When Laura met Logan, she found someone who understood her trauma in a way very few heroes ever could. Logan showed her that she did not have to remain defined by the intentions of her creators. He had also been controlled, manipulated, and used to kill. His life proved that a weapon could regain its freedom and choose to protect others. At the same time, Laura knew about his mistakes, self-destructive tendencies, and the suffering caused by years of isolation. After Logan's death, Laura adopted the Wolverine name. The decision showed that she considered his legacy worthy of continuing, but intended to carry it in her own way. To Laura, Logan is an imperfect father who taught her two important lessons. She could choose to become a hero, but she did not need to become exactly like him. Nightcrawler believes Logan's soul can still be saved. Kurt Wagner and Wolverine appear completely different. Nightcrawler possesses a deep faith, believes in forgiveness, and searches for hope even in the darkest situations. Logan carries guilt over countless deaths and frequently believes that his sins have placed him beyond salvation. Kurt has never ignored his friend's violence. He confronts Logan when he believes Wolverine has crossed a line, but also refuses to let him be defined only by the worst moments of his life. This combination of honesty and compassion transformed Nightcrawler into one of Wolverine's most important friends. The two have discussed religion, guilt, death, and the existence of the soul. In House of X number 4, during a mission that would probably end with all of them dying, Logan asked whether Kurt believed something was waiting for them afterward. Nightcrawler answered that he would find out alongside him. To Kurt, Wolverine is not a condemned creature, but a wounded man who continues trying to make the right choice, and whose soul is still worth saving. Jean Grey and Storm know the man hiding behind the beast. Jean Grey understands Wolverine's mind in a way that is almost impossible for anyone else. As a telepath, she has witnessed his trauma, fragmented memories, and constant struggle against his instincts. Jean knows that his aggression hides guilt, loneliness, and a desperate need to protect the people he loves. Despite the complicated attraction between them, she has never seen him as nothing more than a violent creature. Storm understands another side of his humanity. Ororo is not intimidated by Wolverine, and she does not attempt to transform him into someone else. She has confronted him as a teammate, led teams alongside him, and developed a relationship based on respect and equality. Their friendship eventually became romantic, allowing Storm to discover his humor, loyalty, and the vulnerability hidden behind his aggressive personality. To Jean, Wolverine is a tormented man whose mind still contains love and compassion. To Storm, he is a dangerous warrior, but also a worthy partner capable of standing beside her. Sabretooth believes the Beast is Logan's true identity. Jean and Storm reach the opposite conclusion. The violence is part of him, but it is far from everything he is. Perhaps none of these opinions are completely wrong. Wolverine can be an animal, a killer, a soldier, a rival, a teacher, a father, and a hero at the same time. His enemies see the violence he struggles to control, while his friends recognize the man who continues fighting not to be defined by it, but who truly understands Logan better than anyone else. Leave your choice in the comments and subscribe to Nerd Society to discover more hidden stories from Marvel and DC.